Hello everybody, and welcome to Wounded Healer Tarot. My name is James, and I'll be doing your tarot reading today. This particular reading is for the sign of Taurus. Now, I'm going to be using all 4 of the Kim Krans decks in this particular spread that I came up with here. I'm going to be using 1 card from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck, 1 card from the Wild Unknown Archetype deck, 1 card from the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal deck, and I'm going to be using 4 of the Wild Unknown Tarot cards. Now, first up here in the position of what materials you are currently working with here, we have Uranus. Let me center that. I love the colors on this card. Now, with Uranus, right? This energy is going to bring about an interchange with the ability to shatter our preconceptions, okay? This shift in perspective or identity will bring a newfound freedom and will open up a dormant energy, which you'll see later on with the Magician card. This could come in the form of an aha moment or a sudden stroke of genius. You see, inventions and innovations are born under Uranus energy. Now, this card may also appear to show us what is particularly unique about ourselves or another. Regardless, this intense energy isn't sustainable. So the work is to show up each day whether or not you have the inspiration. Now, I'll tell you right now from the cards that are out here for this particular reading, okay? There's a lot about success. There's a lot about change, okay? There's a lot about the self. This is like, essentially this is all about like your inner self. That inner change is going to bring that outer change, right? It has to start first within, and then it can expand without. Now, in the position of what energy is currently influencing you, we have the Forest. I love how like the colors are very similar. Now, with the Forest here and what energy is currently influencing you, okay? You know, the forest, you know, people usually get, you can't see the forest for the trees, right? And that is something that, you know, for me kind of goes back to that personal view, right? I feel like when it comes to your life, you know, you are having difficulty zooming out and seeing the big picture. And I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, you need to be, or you need to, you know, really kind of build yourself. I feel like there's like, this is like symbolic of like a personal journey. You know, you can't see the big picture if your inner landscape isn't also, you know, I want to say legitimate, but like I want to say unique, right? Because with Uranus speaking to, you know, recognizing or realizing a unique trait about yourself or somebody else, I feel like this is something that you're going to be noticing about yourself. And that's something that you're going to be picking up on this, you know, journey to yourself, essentially. Now, the forest requires first that you enter it and then get lost in it. Okay, you may think that there's a path to lead you straight through, excuse me, but soon enough you'll be on what is known as the pathless path, okay? The forest is a place of both shadow and light, so you'll have to rely on yourself, your intuition, to guide you through. Now, I'm getting the vibe that this is a sort of metaphor for a journey of self-discovery. This is a part of the Uranus energy, as I was just saying, you know, that inner change. That change in, what was it? That, you know, shift in perspective and identity, honestly, because your perspective will affect your identity. All right, Instacart is here, so I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Instacart made an appearance at the most inconvenient time. All right, so yeah, as I was saying, here with the forest, I feel like this is definitely speaking to, an inner journey. It speaks of both, shadow, the forest being a place of both shadow and light. So, there's definitely, this is always, or this is more specifically going to involve some shadow work, especially with the card that we have coming up next, which I will explain shortly. But I feel like this is also you, working your way to being a more like independent and self-reliant, and not like, in the sense of like doing things for yourself and stuff like that and being able to be on your own, but more so like changing, the way that you operate. I feel like you could be somebody that could go to other people a lot for advice and to know what to do. I feel like you get a lot of like who you are from other people in a sense. All right, now, as I was saying, next up, for what energy you are currently embodying, here we have raccoon. Woo-hoo. You know, so yeah, like, again, I mean, if you look at this first off, right, this is a lot of black with some white and gray, right? This is definitely speaking to the shadow work you're gonna be doing. Now, raccoon energy is at play in all artists, so to greater or lesser degrees. Now, at best, this card indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool, but its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Raccoon energy isn't going to let us off the hook until this creative fear is resolved. So, with this, I get that you could be doing something online, right? Whether you're like a content creator doing like YouTube like this, where you have an audience and people that view you and have like a particular version of you, who have a particular idea of who you are, right? And you could possibly be having like this inner conflict here of like, it's like, it could speak to a sort of, what is the word, like imposter syndrome of sorts. Okay, because these people view you a particular way, but maybe you yourself do not view you in that particular way. So then you start to question, is this who I actually am, or is that who I actually am? Like, is this, that, or the other, like, genuine? Is what I am doing, really good enough? You could be feeling like you may want to do something different. You might feel like, you would like to grow, you would like to change and not be that particular individual. But either way, right, I really enjoy how, raccoon energy isn't going to let you off the hook until this creative fear is resolved, right? This is all about your self-image and what you view as success, which is about to tie in with these 4 tarot cards for what you need to know. So here, first up, we have the 3 of Wands, and in the position of what you need to know, I feel like you formed a sense of self, as I was saying before, through friends and family and stuff like that. And you've taken on their ideas of morals and goals, which is normal. When it comes to like the people that we keep ourselves around, we end up picking up aspects of them and make them a part of ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad, but this is where that independence comes into play, because now it's time to rely on yourself for guidance. It's time to put others' needs and opinions aside as you clarify your own goals. I get that you're the kind of person who could have really been, putting other people first, right? I get that, you take care of other people before yourself, and that ends up depleting you a lot. and that doesn't give you enough energy to, do what you need to do for yourself. Now, next up here, we have the Six of Wands. I love how there's just so much color in all of these cards, except for like the raccoon, but I feel like, the raccoon is a nice contrast. But regardless, to the actual reading, with the Six of Wands, you're rising up against the odds. And if at this point you are not reveling in the joy of success, you very soon will be. The only question you must ask yourself now is, where will you go with your new set of wings? Now, wait. This is not the Six of Wands, this is the Six of Swords. I mean, I don't know, I guess maybe you were supposed to get the message of the Six of Wands then? I don't know why. I instantly looked at this and I thought it was the Six of Wands, and I thought about it and I was like, isn't there a butterfly on the Six of Wands? Oh boy. Okay, well, I mean, regardless, in order to make it to the Six of Wands energy, I get that, with the Six of Swords, you need to move on from that old version of yourself so that you can step into this new energy that's going to bring you, to this success. Now, next up with the Magician here. Okay, whoops. I don't know why I forgot to do that. With the Magician, I feel that you either are or will soon be filled with boundless, expansive energy. And that's when it will be time to begin a new project or maybe start a new business, whatever creative venture, you had or have in mind. Now, you have the power of all four elements, so now is the time to use them. It's time for action, and again, this is part of that Uranus energy, being driven by that inspiration, those fresh new ideas, right? You're driven by this change, and that's what's really gonna help you to take action, essentially. This is, I want to say, honestly, all of these cards that came out are super positive, and I feel like they all speak to like an aspect of you, right? This is like a personal journey of sorts. Now, lastly here we have the Empress. Now, with the Empress, I feel that you're opening yourself up back to love, right? You either currently are or soon will be embracing a more warm, gentle, compassionate, and loving side of yourself, the side of you that wants to love more. Now, I'm also getting that it would benefit you to spend more time in nature, maybe go out there, take a peep at the moon, no matter what phase it's in, Now, with that, okay, I want to say, I feel like this has a lot to do with that, like, change in perception. This is a part of you that you are more than likely holding back. And here with the raccoon, I feel like this is what's really, like, this Empress with the, I almost said Emperor, with the Magician energy, right? I get that this is, really what is required here, in a sense, to get you out of this raccoon energy. Because I feel like, this Magician and the Empress, this is you really stepping into your own energy. These are, you having that, realization of who you are, who you want to be. And, with that, right, because I really, with the version of the sun in this deck, right, it's like the background of the Magician is the sun. And I feel like, that to me is speaking to, a shedding of light on yourself, on what you're capable of, on who you actually are, right? And that's what's really going to help you to open up and embrace this loving Empress energy, where you really also, are embracing, yourself, you're nurturing yourself, you're taking care of yourself first so that you can then take care of others. Because I feel like, you're definitely a caretaker type and you really enjoy taking care of other people. But I feel like, the downside to that is that you end up neglecting yourself. And so you can't, operate from like the most ideal, or not operate from, but operate, in the most ideal way, because you don't have the energy to. You keep giving, 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 and eventually you have nothing left for yourself, but you still keep giving. Now, that's going to be over, and with that, you're also, I feel like you're going to be embracing boundaries. You're going to be setting boundaries. You're going to be also working on like enforcing those boundaries. That's very much so going to be required here in this new version of yourself. All right, Taurus, these are the messages that I have for you today, and I do hope they serve you well. Do be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.